Alrighty.
That looks so legit.
We're here, yeah. So this is the first episode we're recording on the iPad Pro. If the quality sounds better, you're welcome. So did you listen to the episode I posted?
I haven't listened to it. I haven't actually had time.
For sure. Because Jay Frenzy, shout out to Jay Frenzy, he sent us, he sent me the full actual MP3 of the theme song. So not only does it doesn't sound like the recorded audio that we had when we started the show, I made the theme song a little bit longer too.
I never noticed that it sounded like, I always thought it sounded pretty good for being recorded.
It is really good quality, but I could always hear it, like I could tell that it's...
You could hear because you were there.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all know that was recorded on the phone?
Yeah, I was like, let us know. But yeah, so I kind of vamped it up. I put a little animation when it goes from the theme song into the actual show. So, nothing fancy, but just toying around with it. New season, new things.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get it rolling. And this is why we need bullies. Is because kids are learning or going to a gym class to learn the Fortnite dances.
Is that where that comes from? I didn't know that. Those come from Fortnite?
Yeah, well, the floss dance, the one you see all the kids doing.
Yeah.
That one, it was voted into Fortnite.
Okay, because that was from the Katy Perry song.
Yeah, that was from Katy Perry.
Live, the kid.
The kid, and that kid's been dancing for years. I remember him back in the day. But yeah, so apparently that dance was so popular, Fortnite did a poll to see what dance or something like that.
I saw the other one where it's like the
shoot.
But that's not Fortnite.
Shoot. It started. That was another thing. It was a dance popular.
Okay.
And then it got voted in.
Yeah.
There's also Scrubs, Turk, when he's doing "That Girl Is Poison." That dance was put into Fortnite too, but that was part of the original lineup.
Yeah.
The original one.
So these are not Fortnite dances.
These are dances, but people were associating them with.
They only know them because of Fortnite.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so apparently, I don't know if it's in New York. I don't know where it's at, but it's an actual dance class for kids to get moving and active and stuff.
I think the most upsetting thing is that I've seen every child under 12 years old do this dance at every function I've been at, just because it's so popular. So the most upsetting thing is that parents are actually paying for the kid to go to a class to learn this that every other kid's just picking up.
That's so stupid. If I was in high school and middle school when Fortnite was popular, I'd probably be kicking everybody's ass because it'd be like, "What? You like Fortnite? Get over here, queer!" And kick their ass. Like, this game is so stupid. And I've played a lot of stupid games in my day. It's just such a simple concept that everybody's fucking jizzing their pants for. Especially kids. Like, and then now...
I don't even know what the game's about.
It's a open world. It's called a battle royal. So it's 100 players all in one map and you're fighting to be the last person standing. The map has different sections, different little towns, so to speak. And you get dropped off in a magical bus. You hang glide off of a bus.
So you've played it?
I've seen gameplay.
Oh, okay.
No, the last time when I tried to download it, I downloaded it because it was like before it got super oversaturated. It was still getting popular, but I was like, let me see what this is all about, what all the hubbub is. Downloaded it. It was so fucking laggy because so many people were on it. It's 100 players all, and my internet's not the best either. So it was just like...
It's just one ground?
Yeah, it's all one. It's just a big map. And then
there's gotta be thousands of people on this, though, right?
Try more like millions, bro. This is all around the world.
So that's what I'm saying, though. But you can see everyone on this one.
Yeah, it's 100 players a game. Like it's 100 players a game.
Oh, I see. Okay. So there was a regulation.
So like let's say the iPad is the map, right?
Yeah.
So then there's this thing called the storm that closes in because it forces players to kind of get closer and closer towards the middle of the map, and that's when it really gets interesting because then there's like 3 or 4 people left and you're all hiding, but the storm is coming. So it's like, oh shit. It's going to be compromised. But it's so dumb and it's just for kids. And the thing is, there's this guy named Ninja. He's a Twitch streamer. He plays video games. Little kids and teenagers and people our age and older are paying money to watch this guy play video games. This guy's becoming a millionaire just because he's good at a video game. I'm like, what the fuck? Where was this shit when I was playing Guitar Hero like a loser? Fucking who can play through the fire and flames an expert.
I was about to compare it to like an NBA player, but at the same time, they at least practice, and I mean, it's like a lot more strenuous type of.
It's actual working.
Like, yeah, like
this is a guy just like
He just happens to be really good at it.
And then kids are begging their money. Mom, give me money. I need to give Ninja my money. I need to give Ninja my money. They just donate. They just donate to him. Wow. No, thanks. Like, and he just uses the money for whatever. That's his revenue. And then now he's hanging out with Marshmello, these DJs and rappers, and he played Fortnite with Drake. It's like,
wow,
all for playing a fucking game, dude. Like,
what a time to be alive.
Yeah, for real. He's got some really big rings, and I'm like, I'm in the wrong business, man. Like that sucks.
Me too.
Man, he gets to do that shit. Were you ever obsessed with video games back in the day?
I've never liked video games. I used to play. I played like the social ones with friends. So like I wasn't into it when I was real young. I remember my cousin used to be obsessed with CartoonNetwork.com.
Oh,
because you could play
cool.
the little Flash video games. You know, that was the only thing we could get on the internet for. And then as we got older, he really got in. I mean, he's a graphic designer now from it. I wasn't even to those video games. I think I played RuneScape.
I remember RuneScape,
right?
yeah.
Only because after school, all our friends would get on and talk, you know, and it was just kind of like, it was the primitive form of MySpace at the time, you know?
Yeah.
And I played Halo 3. I think Halo 3 is the only actual game that I played all the way through, like, to the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when, with Halo 3, I think that was one that you could get online with people.
Yeah, right? You could play
and that
online.
was, like, towards the beginning of that whole kind of era. And then once that kind of jumped off and it was all about, like, oh, you don't even play the story. You just play to get online.
You just do multiplayer.
I never did that. Yeah.
See, so RuneScape I actually started playing very, very late. Like, I knew what RuneScape was. I didn't start playing that till sophomore year when I broke my back. And I was very limited to what I can do because I was in a back brace the whole time. So, because I remember my parents had a laptop and we had to ask permission to use it. And so my parents let me use it permission free because I couldn't do anything. I didn't have Xbox or anything like that yet. I was all on my own in my room, just perched up in my bed, all stupid. So I was just trying to find online games that I could play because then I got all lonely. I was like, I want to talk to people. And RuneScape was really fun. When I finally did get my Xbox 360, I had a Call of Duty.
Was that your first Xbox?
That was my first Xbox, yeah. My parents never bought us the original Xbox. So I had the Xbox 360, and then for the longest time, because one, we didn't have, after a while, we didn't have internet, and then two, you had to buy the subscription cards. And I didn't buy one, so I was literally just playing the story mode. And then Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 came out. I was just playing the story mode while all my friends were online. David, get online! And I was like, I can't afford it. Like, I don't have internet. I have to play the story. I was like, did you guys beat the game, the story mode? The fuck? No, I haven't even opened it. And I'm like, I like the story.
Yeah. You know, now that I think of it, I did play I had a Nintendo 64, so Smash Brothers was a thing.
Yeah.
My friends would come over and play that. And I had the original Xbox, too. My dad usually, he bought it for me for Christmas, but it was really for him. Because he would play, like, football and stuff like that on it. And I just was never into video games. I would get frustrated, because I would play the story modes, and then I get stuck on something and play it 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, fuck it.
Right.
I would just give, and see, like, I guess everyone else is like, they really have to beat it at that point, right? I just walked away.
You just walked away?
I've been a pacifist my whole life, I guess.
This boss is just kicking my ass. I think it's just time to move on.
It's time to move on. Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen past this point. That's hilarious. No, I think the hardest story mode I ever played was Mortal Kombat 9.
Oh, I played the Mortal Kombat. I played Deception.
Oh, Deception was good.
The story mode.
The one where you're walking in the town or whatever?
Yeah, you're like a Shaolin monk or something.
And you beat up that little fish guy. Remember that fish guy that walked around?
Yeah.
I had that for the PS2.
I did play that one too, that's true.
Yeah, good old days.
And that's, the Mortal Kombat thing is my cousin, the video game guy, he had the, I think it was the Super Nintendo with the cartridges, right? And they had Mortal Kombat for that. We used to play that when I go to his place, just the 2 players. So that was nostalgic, so.
Yeah. Man, good times.
Yeah.
Good.
But now, video games being so... I just feel like, at this point, I'm just like, I've gone astray. I can't even if I wanted to get into video games, like everyone's so good at them now. It's like, what's the point? I mean, you have to like
like the best video game I've ever been best at is going to be Diablo. I've always kicked ass at that game because my dad had it on the computer back when we were young, and he would let us play it, and that game was super fun. And that one was an online one too, where you could meet up with your friends. So every now and then, my dad would let me and my brother take turns playing online with his work buddies. So Diablo is really cool, and by the way, Diablo 3 is coming out from the Nintendo Switch in December, and I'm like, fuck yeah!
It was originally a computer game though,
yeah? Yeah, Diablo 1 and 2 were computer games. Diablo 3 first came out for the computer when it first premiered, and then when it went to the, then they mastered it for the, for console, for 360 and like PS3 and everything. Then after that, then they came out with the Reaper of Souls edition, which was just like extra maps and shit. And that one came out for the Xbox One. So my dad bought it for the computer, but he didn't let me and my brother touch it. So I waited for it to come out on 360, got it, beat it in like a weekend. So then when I got the Xbox One, the Reaper of Souls one came out, I was like, fuck it, buying it again. And then I beat that like several times, and then some more stuff came out and I beat it again. And now it's coming out for the Nintendo Switch with even more shit. So I'm like, yeah, I'll beat it again. Like, hey, why not?
This is a random story, but what that reminds me of the Diablo thing. I was at a Walmart in South Dakota with a good friend of mine, and we knew, like, not, you'd go to parties, right, and meet people, like, and then you didn't really, and during the day, you'd kind of run into me like, oh, hey, what's up? You don't really remember them, right? And so one time we're at Walmart. He actually was picking up an inhaler. He used to have asthma, right? He's picking up his inhaler. And some guy and a couple guys behind him come up to him, and they're like, hey, Travis Shitterbarger. Shout out to Travis Shitterbarger. I haven't talked to him in like 10 years, probably. And Travis kind of looks at me, and he looks at the guys, and he's like, oh, hey, man, what's up? And he goes to, like, shake their hand, and they grab his hand and put it behind his back. And they like, arrested him right at Walmart. And I had to drive his car home or whatever, and I asked him, and he's like, yeah, man, I fucking stole Diablo a couple years ago, and I'm banned from, I'm not supposed to be at Walmart anymore.
They're like, oh, hey, what's up?
He had no idea. Yeah, he was like, what's up, man? They're like, what's up, Travis? And, like, just told, I was like, oh, girl. Because both of us were like, do we know these guys? Like, you know, like, maybe we've seen them at a party or something. They just recognize us or something, but... Yeah,
he's like, oh shit, get my inhaler, please.
It was loss prevention.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. That's hilarious.
Yeah. All because of Diablo, whatever.
I love it, and I can't wait. Guitar Hero was another good game that I did really play that.
Good. I still like those rhythm games just because it's more interactive to me. I acclimate with that better than shooting, I guess. Yeah,
like Call of Duty, like I had some of the Call of Duties. I was okay, I was decent. Like I would have my games like online where I was like fucking, oh hell yeah, like I was positive on my KD and this and that. But most games I was like mediocre. I was just like, I either break even, I would have one more death and kill, and I was like, I'm just in the middle. But then there was games too where I was like, holy shit, like I had like 1 kill, 74 deaths, like every time I walk.
Isn't that just, I mean, why turn it on? I'm
like, because then with me, I get frustrated because I'm like, I wanted to do better, I need to do better.
And then it's a cycle.
Yeah, as soon as I respawn,
I play this game, I'm not good at it, but I play it.
I still play it, but yeah, like I started getting out of it, like with working in the, like having a morning shift, like you know, waking up early and going into it. I stopped staying up late and late and late. Like this, like right here, like when we record are the only days I stay up late. It's like, and even at that, because I'm always in bed by like 9 o'clock, and I'm always like hitting the hay, like falling asleep at 10. So it's like, oh, what do you know? I hit 10 o'clock p.m. right now.
I have a friend, and I'm looking up his page, so I'm going to shout him out, even though he has no idea I'm about to do this. But he, so he works at, it used to be called, I think it still is, Maxim, and not the fun, not the magazine.
Oh, not the magazine?
Okay. They make like computer chips or whatever, right? It's like a factory, like it's a factory job. And he works as like a night, he works a night shift where like he gets off like at 4 a.m. and shit like that, right? And they're like 10-hour shifts or whatever. He works like 4 on, 2 off, whatever. But he literally will, and I think it changes, but he'll get up before his shift, like before he has to, like a couple hours early. You know, he'll only sleep like 4 or 5 hours because he wants that couple hours in the morning to play video games. Like, he's, you know what I mean, that about. And now he has a page right now that's called like say it's called like After Hour Gaming or something.
Shout out.
Hours.
Shout out After Hours Gaming.
Yeah, After Hours with Senpai.
Oh my god.
It's a joke. I mean, it's or Hours After Gaming. Senpai. I think that's just it's a joke with the meme, but it's called After Hours Gaming, and it's one of those things where they play their game and it's for people to watch, I guess, which is a thing.
Yeah, streamers.
Which I really don't get that. Like, I just don't understand why not just play it? Why
just play it for your fun, or invite your friends over to like
and play it. I don't get why you would want to watch someone else play the game. Although I watch other people cooking, maybe that's like the way it is.
Yeah, I guess so.
See how they do it better or something. But
I've never been into streaming stuff. Like when people are like, "Oh, you're like," I've been invited to a couple like, "Hey, we're gonna watch so and so like XD4237430 play Call of Duty." I'm like, why don't we just all play it ourselves? Yeah. Like, let's have free fun and play the game. No, because this guy's so good. He gets like crazy kill streaks, and I'm like, why don't we try to do that? Like, I'm like, I want to fucking watch some nerd play video games.
I don't know.
I was like,
I guess it's also like basketball and football. Like, why not just get together with your friends? But people get together and do fantasy football and stuff like that, right?
Oh, I'm a big fantasy football guy.
When they could get together and play the game, right? But
well, that's the thing. We're gambling on other players
on
doing
your
good.
expertise on it, right?
Yeah, on our skills, on our knowledge of how the players play.
Yeah.
Speaking of players and knowledge, the WNBA, there's multiple players in the WNBA, the Women's National Basketball Association, who are upset that they don't get paid as much or as respected enough as male basketball players. Now, I have a tweet here that has the breakdown of why they don't get paid as much and everything, just based upon money-wise. Have you ever been to a San Antonio Silver Stars game?
No.
The women's basketball? No. Okay, so I've been to a couple, mostly for my love, Becky Hammon. I was so in love with her when I was in high school, who's now an assistant coach for the Spurs, so props to her, yeah. She was the only good player. Lisa Leslie is another WNBA basketball superstar, legend, but it's very boring. The games are not exciting.
Right, I've heard that.
There's a lot of stop time, like, and then like the fouls take forever. Like, they're boring, and the stadium's empty when it's like, make some noise. Like some games,
like a high school game.
Yeah, like so I've been to a playoff game for the Silver Stars, and that was a little bit more exciting because they were really on a good streak. But so some guy on Twitter, Jordy Schnecksnyder, I don't know, fuck you. This is what he broke it down to. One, the NBA, excuse me. The NBA made $7.9 billion last year when the WNBA only made $25 million. So that right there is a money thing. 2, the NBA has 30 games a season while the NBA has 82. So they play a longer and tougher season with, and honestly, sometimes like just the Spurs alone, they'll like when they do the rodeo road trip, they're playing like 3-4 games in a row, different city every single night.
Right.
Well, the WNBA gets huge breaks. And 3, the average attendance for the average attendance for an NBA game was almost 17,000, and the average for a WNBA was 6,430.
I mean,
average.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it's obvious.
I mean, okay, I get it. Like, yeah, you know what? But make it more exciting.
I mean, it's kind of like I don't know, like let's say like Coca-Cola and then like Great Value Cola, and Great Value Cola is like, we need to get paid the same. We have the same product. It's like, yeah, but you're not as good. Like,
yeah, it's like
it's not as good. Like I'm okay with paying $1 for a 6-pack of Great Value Cola, and I'm okay with paying $5 for the Coca-Cola when I feel like drinking real Coca-Cola.
Right.
And I'll go for the Great Value Cola because it's cheaper and it's not as good, so I'm okay with it. Like,
exactly. It's like, I want to go to an event.
Yeah.
I don't have enough to go to the Spurs game, but $5 tickets for the NBA Silver Star for a 4-pack? Fuck
right,
it.
Exactly.
Like, I'm gonna go to that.
Yeah, because I expect less, and it's not as entertaining. And
the San Antonio Missions.
It's
I was like,
the Missions.
That's a men. If you want to go based upon gender, that's a men's baseball team.
Yeah,
it's like the fucking most expensive ticket. It's like $13.
Right.
And they're always giving away fucking. They
can't give them away now. I mean, there's so many free tickets.
Fucking yeah, it was like everything.
You got a relative that's in the military. Go ask them. There's tons. They're always giving away.
They're like, oh, which game you want to go to?
Yes.
Like, you want to go to the morning game? You want to go to the firework game? It's like, and then they're giving away free jerseys of the players. They're doing fucking $1 beer night. It's like, you don't see that at Spurs games. We're giving the first 6,000 guests, a free Tim Duncan authentic Nike jersey.
Oh my God.
It's like that would wipe out in 10 minutes. You do that at a Missions
you just
game.
don't have the revenue. You just can't pay yourself that much. So it just is what it is.
I'm like, man, it was a specific player named Skylar Diggins Smith who, it says, continues to advocate for higher wages in women's sports. Well, yeah. You look at volleyball players. There's no men's volleyball team, but it's like...
I mean, if they're not getting paid enough, livable wages, that's one thing. But if they just want extra because they're comparing it... Or if they feel they need to get paid more because within their industry, they're feel like they're getting left out versus everything. They're paying more money to the managers and the coaches versus the players. That's a whole other bag of worms. But if it's because of the comparison to NBA, I mean, that's no water.
That's ridiculous. It just doesn't make any sense. And look, I'm all for women's equal rights and everything like that. But if you're, sorry to say it, but if you're in a shitty division in a shitty league that nobody watches, then
the money's not there.
Yeah, it's like. It's like, look at us. I mean, that's like saying, like, hey, me and the teach to be sponsored.
Yeah.
We deserve higher views and more money.
Well, to be honest, I advocate for higher wages for us too.
Right.
So it don't mean nothing.
Right, but
I do.
With our 15 views average fucking week, but I don't know. That's silly, and maybe one day. So yeah, and you never know.
No, but there's no and I am the biggest advocate for social justice bullshit. Most of the time. I mean, but the reality of the fact is, if your product isn't making the money, that's all you got. Like, you can only give so much from what you're putting in, So
right.
There's no money there.
And speaking of putting in, 3 high school students are about to have dicks all up in their ass for a good while. Some high school, 3 seniors were arrested for terroristic threats for planning a detailed school shooting. And you can see the little bitch in the middle. He's all crying his eyes out. Oh, I can't zoom in on that. But yeah, look at him. Oh, tears, pouty face.
And it's a rainbow too, because it looks like a Mexican, a black man, and a white man.
Yeah. So I read the article. These 3 kids were in class, and they were drawing out and detailing a fucking mass shooting, mass execution, and they're all fucking, laughing about it. Some students overheard, told an administrator, like, hey, these 3 kids are planning that. And then so they're like, so campus police arrested them. They got involved with the actual...
Yeah, you can't fuck around with that.
Yeah, so they got arrested, and I'm glad. Fuck these guys. Imagine the damage they could have done, all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Columbine, 2 kids, and look at that shit. But the funny thing is, when I was reading comments, because the article was on Facebook as well, because I just have my Twitter feed open, people were commenting, wow, fuck those snitches that turned them in. I'm like... Fuck those snitches? Are you kidding me? This is not the time for snitches are bitches, snitches get stitches. It's fucking human lives.
I always thought that was more gang-related stuff, too.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm pretty sure here in San Antonio, the cholos would be like, that's right, puto, like, get those autos. I'm like, what the hell?
Where was it?
I can't remember the city or state, but it says Taylor High School. Mm-hmm. It's not in Texas, I know that much. But that is fucking terrible. Like, look what just happened on Sunday. Excuse me, in Florida. Madden 19 tournament, not even a released game yet. EA was having a little tournament, for football, a football video game. And there's a video, well, like, it's not actual, like, footage, but, like, these 2 guys are getting ready to start a game, and then, like, they're on the screen in the bottom right-hand corner. And then as soon as, like, their little video ends on there. It was just a video game because they're starting the game. You hear pa 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 like through the mics and people screaming. Oh my god! It's horrible, and it's another shooting. I can't remember the fatality. I think it was 3 or 4 dead, but multiple injured. And and it.
Why is it always in Florida?
I don't know. That's easy. Yeah. It's getting into Florida's a fucked up state. Yeah. But and it was another white guy, some white kid. And I think his name was David, if I'm not mistaken, bringing a bad fucking case of the, bringing a bad reputation to our name. But yeah, because he fucking lost. He lost in a football game and he fucking opened fire in the middle of a mall. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you didn't press the buttons fast enough. Sorry, Charlie. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Jesus Christ. And, man, so I, as much as it doesn't really mean anything, but Teach and I really do have our thoughts and prayers, out to everybody affected. I know we've discussed that a million times. Donald Trump just, my thoughts and prayers, fucking not doing anything. John McCain died,
yeah,
and which, rest in peace. I know he was a prisoner of war, veteran, everything like that. He passed away, and Donald Trump didn't put the flags of the White House at half-mast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everybody else I saw.
Well, I think McCain was pretty openly against Trump policies,
Yeah, and then Trump was very open about how he didn't care about McCain, and he made a comment about how they should already pull the plug on McCain, and this and that, and he was battling with brain cancer. So he passed away, and he tweeted out, "Rest in peace, John McCain," or something stupid like that. And yeah, the White House, the flags just stayed. Even with the school shooting, the flags stayed, or the Florida shooting, the flag stayed at full mast. So it's like Trump doesn't give a fuck about anybody.
I'm really getting to the point where I don't think Trump really has any real power. He's just kind of like a loudmouth.
Yeah,
there's a whole team behind him that's really about this. He has, yeah. So I don't know.
It's bad, and I just really wish. I really wish this country didn't vote an asshat in the office. Like, I'm just so still disappointed in this country that we voted him into office. Yeah, so this country's just not going anywhere, and the Spurs aren't going anywhere.
Oh.
Fucking Manu Ginobili retiring. No, I'll say that openly. I called that. Like, I fucking called that. You can go back on other episodes and quote me on it. I called Manu Ginobili's done. Fucking... and everyone's all, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, oh, we'll miss you, gracias, Manu, ah. Yeah, if you were really depending on a 41-year-old bench warmer to be the saving grace of the San Antonio Spurs, get the fuck out of here.
I think it's more just nostalgia. I mean, we lost Tim, Parker, now Manu, and then Kawhi was our saving grace who ditched us too, so.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy to see. I mean, it is...
But I don't know. Yeah, I haven't seen too many people thinking that Manu was gonna hold up the team this, season, anyways. But it just, like I said, it's crazy to see.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, for me too. Like, I grew up with Diane, Ginobili, Parker playing, right? So it's like a whole new team. I mean,
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we do. I'm fairly confident that the Spurs can handle themselves. I think this will be our first year we don't make the playoffs. I'm boldly saying that right now. We will not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And when I'm right, you guys can kiss my ass again. So, just because I called Kawhi Leonard, I called us getting our asses kicked to Golden State Warriors. I called us. The only thing I've been wrong about this past season that we didn't get swept. We won one game in the playoffs, so that's the only thing I was off about. But even at that, that was a very lucky win. But yeah, and I guarantee you after this season, Popovich is going to retire. He just won't like being a coach anymore after losing his wife.
Yeah.
So, so...
It is what it is. Times are a-changing.
Times are a-changing. So the main part of this episode is we are trying something new. I am. Teach wouldn't be able to make it, or Teach wasn't able to make it, excuse me. We are actually interviewing 2 up-and-coming anime artists, and I'll go ahead and go a little bit of backstory of this because I'm a big pop collector, as y'all may or may not know. Especially those at work, I have always changing the pops I have on my desk, little pop figurines. And I follow Gravity Damage, shout out Gravity Damage, collectibles that's on Babcock across the street from the H-E-B. And that next to the Firehouse Subs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, they posted, they've been posting a couple different, like, local artists or whatever, that, like, when they get their copy of their comics in or anything like that, there was like, hey, come by the shop, we have so-and-so who's signing autographs on their first published work or their new release, da-da-da. And I've actually messaged out to these other artists that they promoted, like, hey, like, I have a podcast, I would love to interview you, you know, one San Antonio show, you know, promoting a San Antonio artist. Love to have you on if you have time to talk. They usually read the message or they just don't respond altogether. So I'm kind of like, dang, okay. So shout out to, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, and Kagura's Art and AFJ Art. Kagura's Art, she has created a comic called Star Rangers Magical Space Cadet Squad. And AFJ Art, he has created Xeno Guardian Red Visor Go. So I had the chance to sit down with them, talk to them about their art, their collaboration that's now available, as far as I know, just in Gravity Damage. I'm not too sure if it's available in other comic stores, but I got to sit down with them and talk to them for a bit, just to see what their inspiration was and everything like that. So it's our first interview piece, so I hope you guys enjoy that. Alrighty, hey guys, so this is David, this is part of episode 31. I am sitting here today with Diane Solis and Alejandro, also Ale, like Madonna, you're just telling me right now. Like we were saying earlier in the episode, these are two up-and-coming artists. They have
Xeno Guardian Red Visor Go.
Excellent, and then...
And Star Rangers Magical Space Cadet Squad.
Excellent. So these are it's a joint collaboration that you guys just put out, right?
Yes.
Did a crossover, yeah.
Excellent. And I was getting to know them a little bit just before we started recording. So just for the show too, you know, how'd you guys meet? Like, what kind of inspired you guys to start working together? Like, what's going on with that?
We've basically been friends since we were little, and it was at that Latino Comic Con we did back in February, I think.
Okay.
That he was so impatient about me putting out a comic that he basically wanted to do that crossover.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, she had cool characters, and I realized it worked with the character I had, and we're like, you know, remember when we used to draw Pokemon comics together in 5th grade? And then, boom, actual comic book.
Nice, and because I saw, because that's what kind of prompted me to reach out, because I follow Gravity Damage, shout out Gravity Damage, on Facebook, and I saw they posted Diane, which I'd not to exclude you, I didn't know it was a joint crossover or anything like that.
That's all right.
So and I saw that, you know, they posted, you know, the comic, and you were signing autographs, you know, they're signing the books and everything, so which I thought was really cool. And I'm a big, not a huge anime or manga fan. I'm a big Dragon Ball Z dork. Love DBZ, Sailor Moon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho, Inuyasha, those kind of things. And I know some of our viewers, they're really big comic book fans, anime fans, manga fans, and I thought this would be a really good opportunity to kind of cater to them as well. So with your book, I'm not trying to presume anything, but has your character been out a little bit longer?
Well, yeah, I put out the first issue of Red Visor Go like a little over a year and a half ago. Okay. And you know, her characters have probably existed a lot longer. You've had them like on the back burner for how long?
Like 10 years.
10 years, wow. So I know you were saying that he was getting impatient for your characters. Was there a reason why you were just kind of hesitant to?
It has a lot of LGBT characters.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really have like an income when I didn't know the first thing about comics either. How to like make and publish them too.
For sure. And so you had that experience with publishing and getting stuff out.
Yeah, well, self-publishing with Red Visor Go, I was able to learn the hard way. This is kind of like the nicer part for Diane, is I had to like struggle over this year to like put together my comic, and then I learned a lot about like, you know, formatting, editing, getting someone to letter it, and then I took those and was like, hey, I've got a friend who will help out on this one, and we started easily, like, what was it, 12 pages each, 11 pages each?
Yeah, like 12 pages.
So it was like a good way to get a little micro story put together, backdoor pilot to introduce people to the characters, and now your first issue is like, how long?
I'm hoping it comes out next month.
Yeah, okay. And it's gonna be like 36 pages, so it's a big jump. And yeah, so that's basically, I took my struggles and my experience and was like, hey, this is how to do it, because you already got the story, the characters, and everything that you needed to make a cool comic book, but the technical parts, luckily I had.
For sure. That's really cool. So, with both with you guys, what kind of inspired? Because when I'm looking at your stuff, like, because I followed you on Instagram and everything, yours kind of reminds me of Power Rangers, and I see you're wearing a Power Morphicon shirt. So it's like, was that your inspiration? Is with that?
Yes and no. My artwork has a lot of inspiration from an old comic book called Cyborg 009.
Okay.
It's an old 60s manga. Now, it happens to be the guy who created that show also created a show called Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, which is what got adapted to become Power Rangers. And then, of course, as a little kid, I liked Power Rangers. And then
I basically really just liked a lot of 90s anime
Mm-hmm.
and like Sailor Moon, Ranma, and all that. And that's basically what inspired me on my style and what I wanted to do.
For sure. And so I know you mentioned that it's a lot of the kind of inclusive, the LGBTQ. Was there a specific reason for that? Like, did you kind of want to branch out from the norm of other comics and stuff like that?
Kind of, and also there just isn't a lot of that stuff in comics, so I thought it would be really good for like young girls, boys, everyone, just to basically be able to see themselves as superheroes. And since you don't really have that in a lot of actual hero comics and things, or even on the big screen, really. Because
I know it's funny you mentioned the big screen, because I know they're anticipating doing a Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy joint movie, and there's hints of them that they'll be lesbian, they'll be romantic, and have scenes like that kind of on the big screen. And I myself, I mean, I'm a very open-going guy. Like, I don't consider myself. It's weird to say, because I don't like go out promoting that kind of stuff, but I'm very inclusive with whatever anybody wants to do. But my thing about that movie is, my fear on that is that because Margot Robbie is going to reprise her role as Harley Quinn. I don't know who they're casting as Poison Ivy, but my fear is like it's just going to be over stylized, like two hot actresses just getting it on screen and everything like that. So with yours, focusing on that, what kind of, well, you just answered that, my bad. You said you wanted to have that representation on that, which is really cool, because I haven't read a lot of comics that have that kind of thing.
Right.
So that's really cool. And I know you mentioned on Tumblr, you said you had a Tumblr that you got views and everything. I had a Tumblr back when I was in high school, and I know Tumblr, they make jokes as like the complete social justice warrior website. So I guarantee you get a lot of support on Tumblr for that. Do you?
Yeah, kind of. I've met like a good amount of friends through it, and a lot of them were supporting it and really want it out there too. For sure.
Do you yourself have a Tumblr?
I mean, I do, but I'm terrible at using it. Kind of back in like my early younger days, I was much better about doing it. But that's, it's kind of funny thing about Tumblr is that people do, they promote that whole idea that it's a SJW safe haven. I am a quote unquote SJW, but to say it is, it's not just that. I mean, you've got still a lot of racists, a lot of homophobes, a lot of that's still on there. It's just like any other social media platform, which again makes a comic like Star Rangers even more important, because it's the characters, right? They don't struggle for being gay, right?
No.
Like, they're just characters who are superheroes that happen to be gay.
And that's really good, because I guarantee you, because I'm always confident in up-and-coming artists. I always promote it. I always you guys are going to hit the big time and everything. So I guarantee you with a comic like that, especially in today's modern climate, with everything being very, pro-everything, everybody's freedom to do anything. If this comic really does pick up, I think that's going to be something that really stands out, which is amazing, and I really commend you for that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So, and also too, something I was talking about, I see you guys just today started designing something for a new con you guys are going to be doing, like the display you guys are going to have. Talk a little bit more of that. What's the con that you have coming up?
Well, I don't know if this will be posted by then, but our next convention is the More Phenomenal Expo at the Wonderland Mall. It's like September 8th and 9th, I think, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and then we're doing Austin Wizard World, but we had been tabling a lot together, and we decided to kind of like streamline how we're tabling things.
Okay.
So instead of having a big backdrop banner behind us, which like takes all the space behind us and there's like no room to walk, we decided to build the display on the table, represent our brand. While our comics have nothing to do with each other besides the crossover, you know, it still is magical girl stories, and they work together, and we decided to brand our display because usually people who buy her comic or my comic will buy both, and it's cool.
Right. That's pretty cool. And because I've always wondered like how, like, because I've only been to Alamo City Comic Con a couple years ago. I went mostly because the voices of Goku and Vegeta were going to be there, and I'm a big nerd. Also, I'm a big wrestling nerd. So Sting was there. I bought the whole meet and greet with him and everything. I dropped $150. Not proud of it, but I did it for 10 seconds just to snap and then dip out. And I always see like when they bring in, you know, artists, you know, comic book artists or different types of things. I'm always like, man, that's so cool. I wonder how they reach out and everything. Do you guys get paid for that or?
No.
No? Oh, no. Okay.
Not at
Generally
all.
speaking, how tabling works is we go apply for a table, then pay lots of money for the table,
wow.
and then we work our butts off to make up for that.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, Diane and I are able to like do conventions. That like a good one was the Latino Comics Expo up in Dallas. Great, or Latino Comic Con. Expo was a different one. But Latino Comic Con, like, it was a small event, but the table was free.
Okay.
Really cool. They didn't charge any of the artists. And sometimes we can like make connections, but for the most part, we're usually paying anywhere between $200 and $300 for a table.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know that's, and I know I was talking with Diane earlier, you know, you rely mostly upon your art for income and everything like that. Is it the same thing for you?
So-and-so. I have my, you know, daytime retail job.
Okay.
But yeah, the art income is definitely very supplemental at this point.
Sweet. That's really cool. I was telling, like I was saying her, I know I didn't get enough time to talk to you up there. I didn't want to interrupt you either because we're with some of those buddies you have over there. Are they other artists too in San Antonio?
Yep,
okay.
They're other comic book artists. Paul actually tables with us all the time.
Okay, cool. I could possibly get them maybe on the show in a future episode. I'll definitely go ahead and shout out their work. I'm really big about doing the whole follow for follow, shout out for shout out kind of thing. Because I just want to make sure, like, you know, I want to get, because I've been in San Antonio my whole life. That's where I'm from. You know, here, are you guys from San Antonio too?
I am, yeah.
You are? Okay.
Yes and no. I lived here 15 years ago, and then I moved back.
Okay.
So, military brat, so.
Oh, okay,
yeah, I
cool.
lived here for 4 years, and that's where I met Diane, and then I moved away for a long time, and now I'm back.
Nice. So yeah, and so with being in San Antonio, something that I personally feel San Antonio doesn't have enough of is outlets for art and talent. Because I was a theater nerd. I was theater middle school, high school. And so, I mean, there's playhouses and community theaters here in San Antonio. But I always feel like the arts is kind of like an underground thing here in San Antonio. Because San Antonio has fantastic directors, fantastic artists, you know, like you guys, and, you know, and musicians and everything. But you really have to seek out that kind of thing. It's not something that's promoted very openly, you know, unless it's stuff like at the McNay or a big museum for a big art gallery opening. So I know, as I still consider myself an up-and-coming actor or comedian, so I've always, you know, if anytime I can get help, I want to get that out there. And, you know, and I know definitely doing the Comic-Cons, that really helps promote you guys, right? So, yeah, so, and I know you guys mentioned, or she mentioned that a Kickstarter is going to be coming soon, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, and that's going to be for your or for another joint?
For my own comic this time.
Okay.
Which will be the first issue.
Nice. And so when does the Kickstarter come out for that?
We're hoping in maybe a few weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks? Okay.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work to get those off the ground. We just got to do a couple more things, edit a video, and get some pages lettered, and then we're able to do that.
Sweet. So yeah, so definitely just let me know. I mean, you have the show email. Let me know, and I'm definitely going to put that out there.
Okay.
We're going to have a lot of people that are going to want to support that. For you too. I mean, you know, what are some up and coming projects that you have coming on?
Currently, I'm doing a comic called Lost Heaven.
Okay.
Which kind of in the same vein as like Star Rangers, features 2 main gay characters. It's kind of a spaghetti western comic, which takes a twist on it and has like a female main hero, and then also features Latino characters in a more positive light, and that's what I've got currently going on right now.
That's good. That's I really I know I overused this word already. I commend that. Just because comics, you know, I was more of a Marvel guy when I was growing up, and comics don't really show those kind of things. You know what I mean? Like, they never really had that, other than, you know, just two hot chicks, you know, with drawn with the big old boobs and everything all over the top.
Right.
But that's really cool. And you guys plan on doing this for a long time, I hope, right?
As long as we can do it, right?
Yeah, my comic's gonna be pretty long.
Pretty long? That's because to me, when I was younger reading comics, if it was like, you know, kind of the short little paper thin ones, a few pages, and it's on to the next story right away, that got kind of like, I'd always buy like the big collections, like where everything was already edited and put in together, where it's one continuous story. So would you consider your project a graphic novel, or how would you actually consider it?
Well, you're doing it in single issues to start off with.
Yeah, I'm gonna start out with, like, I guess, single issues.
Okay.
And I guess after like a while, I'm gonna try to do like the graphic novels, where it's like multiple chapters in one book eventually, that it's, you know, not a million issues.
Otherwise, putting together a whole thick trade could take like a year or two.
Man.
Right.
And see, and I didn't know, you know, that much work really goes into it, other than just the whole like finding somebody to publish it, and then like getting it put in stores and everything like that.
We don't even have publishers.
So everything's just totally you guys working. That's amazing.
Self-publishing is just a funny word for you pay for it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the Kickstarters.
Right. Yeah, and definitely want to know more info on that. Definitely want to try to help you guys out. That's fantastic. Also, too, you know, this is the first interview our show is doing, so I'm really glad you guys had, you know, took the time to meet with me today. Don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you guys had friends in there, definitely. So this is typically where you guys work, or?
Just a drink and draw we do every Wednesday. Basically,
okay.
It's a bunch of artists. We get together here and just draw and have drinks.
That's really cool.
You know, it's kind of like our socializing.
Yeah, and so I know we already talked about it, but because I know there was like 3 other people. I know somebody else joined you guys. Do they all have each individual projects that they're working on, or is it all kind of?
Well, I know Christina and Brenda do like illustration work, and then like Paul is actually working on a comic right now called Ragnome Rock. I think it's like a 12-page comic he's doing. It's like the Ragnarok storyline from, you know, old like Norse legends, except with gnomes.
That sounds hilarious. I have to read that.
He's literally drawing it in there right now.
Oh my god, I gotta take a quick peek at that before I leave for the day. But no, that is really cool. I know I've said that like a million times, and you guys are like, "What the hell is this guy? Can you shut up?" But other than that too, I mean, do you guys one day like see this becoming animation? Like, would that be a cool thing to see in the future?
That would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be pretty much like a life goal. I mean, Diane and I have kind of talked about it before. Like, the crossover would be kind of a neat thing to like animate, because what we're doing is the sandbox, right? Like. Mm-hmm. You know, your comic is like a magical girl comic, and mine is kind of a Power Ranger magical girl comic, and they work so well together. I thought it'd be cool to do like this, where we just have like a battle royale, right? We're gonna do a battle royale where a bunch of magical girls and masked heroes are forced to fight each other, and the crossover will last 4 or 5 pages, and then like, you know what, that would make a fun, like, you know, maybe a little animated movie would be fun like that.
Yeah, and with technology nowadays, there's always tons of things, you know, that you could do that with, because I just got the iPad Pro, which I forgot, because that's what I was going to use to record and everything today, and I had questions written down on my iPad. Right now I'm just kind of freeballing it with the questions.
Somehow I knew you were going to say freeballing.
Yeah,
that's what I say too.
It's just my go-to. Balls are on my mind for some reason, but yeah, and then so like when I downloaded the iPad, you know, and I was researching and everything, like, should I really get it? All these like art things, you know, pulled up for like drawing and comics, and I'm like maybe I'm not getting the iPad for the right thing. I'm just doing it to record a podcast. I'm like, but no, that's really cool. I mean, what is the typical material you guys use? Just pencil and paper?
I mean, for normal drawings, I just use like watercolor paper, Crayola markers, and Sharpie markers, and normal pencils.
Yeah.
That's about all I use.
Hey, simple and to the point, right? Do you do this similar?
Well, in essence, I know that like for her comics too, she has like a Bristol board that's formatted for comics, but for like my traditional work, I'll use actually the same exact watercolor paper, Sharpies and watercolors, because it's really cheap and being an artist is expensive.
Yeah.
But for comics, I draw them digitally just because I don't have the time or the money. And I have like a Cintiq tablet, and then I have a program called Clip Paint Studio that makes everything so much easier. And then in that regard, we edit everything in that program to do basically the same thing for her traditional drawn stuff, which is why hers looks so good. All the traditional details she does in it are like phenomenal.
Man, so you're getting all the good stuff. You're letting him be the hard worker, and you're like, hey, now I'll help.
I mean, to be fair, what she does is way harder. Like,
no, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mess up at one thing, and it's like, I gotta redraw everything.
Yeah, on Clip Paint, I could just be like, oh, I messed up. Control Z.
Right?
Yeah.
Beep, little blip back. That's pretty cool. I forgot one thing I was going to ask about you in particular. Oh, did you like the new Power Rangers movie?
Oh, I loved it.
You loved it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, in fact, you loved it too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's kind of like both Diane and I, like as a Latino man myself, like representation is pretty important for you being queer yourself and a woman of color, super important. And what I loved about that movie is that it took time to take the characters seriously.
Yeah.
And they were diverse, and none of their stories, none of their problems were because of their minority status. Like, so many movies are about how, like, their hill they have to cross is the fact that they're Latino. Their hill is that they're gay and they gotta cross it. Their hill is that they're black, and that's what the movie is about. That's not good representation. That's just making sad stories about what it's like to be a minority. Don't get me wrong, it's super tough to be a minority, but with superhero films, it'd be nice to have characters that are just happen to be minorities and superheroes.
Right, like it was brought up and then moved right on. I agree with that.
And
like,
Power Rangers has always been like that, even since the first season in 19. I mean, we just literally the 25th anniversary yesterday of Power Rangers. Even in that first season, despite the mix-up on the colors for yellow and black, which wasn't actually intentional, Yellow Ranger used to be Hispanic, but she quit when the pilot got accepted.
Okay.
She wanted more money, so that's when Choi Trang was casted. But it's always been about diversity. That's why I love Power Rangers.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I loved it growing up as a kid too. You know what I mean? Because I'm 23 years old. I'm 23 years old myself. I don't know how old you guys are, but
we old.
We're both 28.
28. Oh, okay. So I'm a youngin' here. I'm a youngin'. It's just my double chin that gives it away. That makes me look older.
Quadruple chin.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, I loved it. I had the VHSs, of the Power Rangers, and so I was marking out, especially the scene in the movie, like when they finally get in their robots and they're finally going to go take down Rita Repulsa and the go Power.
Oh yeah, I about died on that.
I was freaking out. And I'm just excited to see who they're going to cast as the Green Ranger in the upcoming one, in the upcoming movie. I don't know.
I'm just glad it's happening.
Right.
Go Hasbro.
Right, Hasbro. How do you pronounce his name? Saban? Saban? Okay.
Yeah, he sold it to Hasbro.
Man.
For $500 million.
Oh wow.
Man, he'd worth it. You know what I mean?
Tell you, being at Power Morphicon, it made a huge difference. Like, Hasbro had a huge exhibit.
Really?
And they had, like, Ranger suits and Ranger props on display, which Saban never did that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying Saban was bad for Power Rangers. I mean, they're the ones that brought Sentai over here.
Right.
And, it was just, they were creatively stacked it. They didn't know what to do with the series, and they were afraid to push it forward. So, hopefully Hasbro, fingers crossed.
Hopefully we guys can do this again. I just want to get you guys back in there working on your craft. But it was nice meeting you guys. The episode will definitely be posted the weekend. Going to have link. I'll tag you guys in the episode once it's finally officially published as well. Thank you, really, guys. Glad you guys came out today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming out here.
No problem. And again, so my name is David.
And Diane.
And I'm Ale.
Awesome. And you've been listening to Who Cares First Interview. Alrighty, so that was a really good interview. I really had fun talking to them, getting to know them. Check them out on Instagram. That's at Kaguras_art, and it's also at AFJArt. They're up-and-coming artists. Their second, like I said, their second book is going to be coming out soon. They're going to have a Kickstarter program. I'll share more about it once everything gets started. Support your local talent. Support your local artists. Just like you support us, please continue supporting us. So hopefully next time Teach can join us on another interview. Definitely something I would like to try doing, but I know school just started. So how is that? I saw Mrs. Teach's post that like don't bother asking for.
Yeah, it's rough. No, well, so work has gotten worse. I'm on a 60-day probation because of the same. Previous episodes have shown with this one attorney with his paralegal how she just kind of throws her under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
She did it again, and like I told my manager, I was like, I put the files where I'm told to put the files. She doesn't know where to put them, right? She leaves a note. So he's just on a rampage and wants someone fired. So it might be me in 60 days. Because there's really, I'm like, well, nothing's going to change. If I keep putting them in the file where she says and they're wrong, I guess I'll get the axe. Man. That happened. School started, I'm doing my field residency, so I have to go to schools now and teach a little bit, right? For like 4 hours a week. So that takes up time. Also, 2 other classes, I didn't realize I was going to have to do this. I have to do it for 2. So I knew I was going to have to do field residency, but I have 2 other classes that I signed up for that I have to go to. So I have to go to 3 different schools with 3 different classes to do this, which is just insane. Plus, with my directorship, with the fall season coming up, it's kind of our busy season. People tend to get more religious in the fall, I guess. They do, I guess because of Christmas and stuff, like the family thing, they're looking for places to feel welcomed and stuff, so that gets busy. So that pretty much fills up all the cracks. Like, yeah. So it's good. It's good.
It's good. Very, very happy. It's good. We're going with.
But yeah, so that's why even like tonight, I should tell David, I'm like, yeah, I can't. I gotta get up at 6.
Yeah. So this will be a relatively short episode, which is no big deal. I mean, we have good content. We had our first interview, something new for us. I know we got a little bit of good feedback, so just to go ahead and kind of not so much wrap things up, but just kind of have good, funny little one-on-ones, just like we did last episode. A little candid question time. Rapid fire questions.
My iPad's charging.
The teacher doesn't have a soundboard today, so I had to improvise. But by the way, we didn't have a cheers this episode. Yeah. So good. Alrighty. So, you asked me questions first last time. I'm going to go ahead and ask you first. So, they're not numbered, but I'm going to just go through 10. Okay. So, here we go. These are going to be would you rather questions now. So, Teach maybe have to think lighter on his feet now. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see. So,
do you want explanations or just the answer?
We could do explanations. Yeah, right. I mean, no big deal.
All right.
So, would you rather always be 10 minutes late or always be 20 minutes early?
20 minutes early.
Same. I agree with that.
More anxiety with the 10 minutes late than 20 minutes early. I could chill.
Yeah, it irks me so much. Like I always have to be like.
I usually am early.
Yeah. Would you rather lose all of your money and valuables or all of the pictures you have ever taken?
Pictures.
You'd be insane.
The memories last a lifetime with my stuff versus the pictures are just, I was there. So, yeah.
Exactly. Would you rather be able to see 10 minutes into your own future or 10 minutes into the future of anyone but yourself?
I don't care.
Who cares?
10 minutes? Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Right? Like,
I can wait 10 minutes to figure it out and see or call for whatever friend. Hey, what happened to you in this past 10 minutes?
Right. I bet I can tell you what happened.
Right.
That's funny. Would you rather be famous when you are alive and forgotten when you die?
Oh, we did this.
Yeah, this is one we
had someone sent it in.
All right, so skip that one. Would you rather go to jail for 4 years for something you didn't do, or get away with something horrible you did, but always live in fear of being caught?
Live in fear.
I was like, fuck that, I got away with it.
Yeah. I think it would feel way worse to be in prison for 4 years for something you didn't do. Just
for real.
Really feel injustice.
Would you rather accidentally be responsible for the death of a child, or accidentally be responsible for the death of 3 adults? What the fuck?
Yeah, this is fucked up. But you know what? A child.
A child? God
yeah,
damn.
Only because 1 outweighs 3. That's just mathematically. That's just how I would take that.
Oh, that's hilarious. Would you rather your shirts be always 2 sizes too big or 1 size too small?
Too big. I already do that.
You need the extra room?
Yeah.
All right, let me see here. A couple more. Would you rather live in the wilderness far from civilization or live on the streets of a city as a homeless person?
Out in the woods.
Yeah, I was like, these are really simple ass questions.
You sure the one I went to? I think it was like just random questions, and they were all numbered. It was like 250 questions.
Yeah, I was like, sorry guys, we're gonna have to redo this because these are like really simple questions. I'm like, what the hell? Fuck you, conversation starters world. Let's see, 99 random questions to ask.
I think that's the one I did. Are they numbered?
Hold on.
No, that's not the one. But what do they look like?
Let's see. What is in your fridge right now?
Kind of a lot, I think. I have, a lot. I got condiments, I got ravioli, pasta, I think there's like an old pizza. There's a lot of shit in my fridge. I'm a hoarder with food.
If you could close one fast food chain, what would you pick and why?
If I could close one fast food chain, I mean, all fast food matters in my
right.
Because it depends. Even if they're trash, I still have this like. I haven't gone to Long John Silver's in like the past 15 years of my life.
Yeah, I
and
haven't
yet
been
there's
forever.
still this air of like, but I might like. One of these, I remember going there when I was like 10 years old and
the Hush Puppies,
and the Hush Puppies, right? So every time I pass them when I go to the south side, I'm like, one of these days I might try. I don't know. Fred's Fish Fry.
How dare you?
Just because I think it's a drug front. So
yeah, it's a front for the cartel. If you could disinvent one thing, what would it be?
Oh, I could disinvent one thing. Man, I'm very existential, so I don't think I could pick anything. Because I think even if it was a shitty thing, it still has some purpose of showing what shitty things can be made. Like, let's not do that. Like,
Let's not do that.
The purpose is still valid.
Let's improve this.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Let's see here. Last one. If you could be a member of any TV sitcom, which one would it be?
That's funny because you want to say the one that it's like a favorite show, but like I'm thinking Sopranos, but no, definitely don't want to live in that because you could get killed.
Right.
And then I was gonna say Big Bang Theory, but I'm like, no, because then I would feel really stupid because they were really smart, like within that world, you know.
Yeah.
I guess Real Sex.
Real Sex. That's a sitcom.
Oh, a sitcom.
Yeah, it says if you could be a member of any TV sitcom, what would it be?
So we're talking like laugh reels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably like an old like 70s, like All in the Family or something, just because I don't know, it's nostalgic.
I'm surprised you didn't say 70s Show.
Oh,
be in the weed smoking circle.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's their show. That's a good one.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and switch it over to me. You can move the little thingy at the top. I don't want to spread.
You need a case, fool.
Oh yeah, I just barely got it. No. Wait.
Okay, left off on that one.
Yeah, so 10.
Okay, 10. Well.
Oh, 9. Yeah.
Oh shit! What am I doing?
Nothing. Okay, there you go. There you go. So you can't move.
I know. How do you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you could zoom out a little bit.
Okay, what would be the best thing about not having a sense of smell? Eating ass.
Right. You still got your taste though. I'm not an ass eater.
Not when you can't smell it. You lose your sense of taste when you can't. If you ever try to eat something, close your nose, you can't taste it.
Really? Let me see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it on my beer. I can still taste it.
No, it's already in your throat though. Because if there's an experiment where they, if you blindfold yourself and then if you hold your nose, they make you hold your nose, they'll feed you something, right? And they will go, what is this? And a lot of times people say apple, right? But it's a potato. And a potato is not a raw potato. It does not taste like an apple, but the consistency is crunchy and that same. But that sense of smell goes away, so you can't taste it. Food comes from smell.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, now you do. Good teach.
All right, thank you, Teach. Thanks, Teach. What would be the best thing about? Yeah, I guess not smelling gross things. You know,
it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, taking a wicked shit and I have to worry about it.
Yeah, for real.
Some people like it though. Everyone likes their own brand, right? Would you leave your hometown forever or stay in your hometown forever? Oh, that's valid.
Well, I mean,
which extreme would you choose?
If I were to choose, I would leave San Antonio just to go elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in the middle of the country where it's like it's hot summers and then it's like cold winters.
Yeah.
But nothing too unbearable.
White male, you'd get away with it. It's funny because they always say if you live anywhere but a major city, which is the middle of the country,
right?
Just kind of rough. Is there an app that you hate but use anyways?
No, because I don't have them. I really hated Kik, the messaging app.
Oh yeah.
KIK. I really hated that one because its purpose was like it was supposed to be a messaging app, but I remember people would get it because you would always be able to like chat with whores online.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was like a porn thing.
And get nudes and shit, but never got anything.
It's all dudes on there.
Yeah, it's all dudes looking for chicks, and it's like
it was like the Omegle thing. Like you're gonna sit there with your dick all night because no girls are on there.
For real. So Kik, but I mean that was back when I was in like fucking high school.
Okay. If you could only speak one word today, what would you say?
Fuck.
Yeah, that's
my life motto.
Me too. What is the stupidest thing you've done because someone dared you to? Oh.
Ooh, that's a lot of shit.
But the stupidest.
The stupidest.
And not the proudest or the one or the most.
I'm not proud about anything I've done.
Sometimes they come out with good stories. They're like, yeah, it came out this way.
I'm trying to think. It would have to be back when I was in high school. And I was able to first like start going out with my friends, like, you know, like ask my parents, Mom, Dad, can I go out with so and so and so and so? And they would pick me up in their car and, you know, go and stuff. So it was I can't remember who I was with. I'm trying to remember who I was with, but I got dared to instigate a fight because there was these two. There was
Fight Club.
Fight Club. Right? So there was a guy in a red shirt, and it sounds racist, but he was black and he looked like a blood. And there was a guy across the lobby, black guy. He was a blue shirt. So we were joking.
How
like,
serendipitous.
Yeah. So we were joking like, that's funny. Look, Bloods versus Crips and this and that. We're talking about like, what if they start fighting and this and that. And my friend goes, because I think it was one of my buddies from SeaWorld. I can't remember who it was. And they were like, man, like someone should start like someone like yell something about the other gang and like get them to start fighting and this and that. And we were all laughing and this and that. We're like, David, you should do it.
This is under the premise that they are affiliated.
Yeah, that they are affiliated with the gang. So I yelled out, man, if you a Crip, you a fag. Because I was in the arcade.
Now, okay, and the question just arises: how do you know that he's going to look at the black man in the red, who's maybe a blood,
so that's
and not look at you?
Exactly. So it was this whole like So I yell it and I hide behind the stuffed animal machine, and because my friends are watching and stuff, right? Like I'm like, if you a Crip, you a fag, and I kind of dart it. The fuck you say? All of us were like, oh shit, and they started to go confront each other, and they started talking shit with each other. Yeah, and they like the one dude was at the bar, the other dude was over by the popcorn stand getting his snacks at Silverado 16.
Where is this at?
Silverado 16.
Oh.
And they started arguing with each other and screaming and yelling at each other, and we were like, oh shit, and we got scared because we thought we were going to get in trouble.
Right.
So we ran to our movie, and it was like, holy shit, they were actually gang members.
God. I didn't think that was how it was going to end.
Yeah, no.
Meanwhile, we do not endorse the fact that black men wearing blue.
Yeah, it was just a crazy, crazy coincidence.
Okay, that was a good one.
Yeah, because I could have died. They both could have ganged up on me.
To be honest, it's interesting that he went for the black on black crime, man. It's a real thing.
Right.
Okay, what part of the human face is your favorite?
What part of the human face is my favorite?
The mouth's gonna put my dick in it.
Mouth hugs. May sound cheesy, but the eyes. You can really tell a lot by somebody by their eyes.
That's true.
And being an actor and everything, and just like having to make eye contact with characters and this and that, so.
It's really awkward to make eye contact with David right now because I know how much he's into it. Okay. I'm not gonna ask that because I think I know the answer to that. No, that's corny.
Corny.
You corny. How many pennies would fit into this room? I don't know. I already read like 5. So.
Fucking infinite? I don't know. Fucking little pennies?
Definitely not infinite.
Well, yeah. Okay, teach. Fucking, I don't know. Probably a few $1 million? I don't know. If you're stacking
It didn't
them...
say the amount of money. It said the amount of pennies.
Yeah, millions?
Which would, I mean, 1 million pennies is not $1 million.
I don't know, like... It's like, because if you're stacking one penny, like, individually, and this is them not falling down, and it's like you're going up, filling the entire room, yeah, man.
I want to say 1 million pennies would be like $1,000.
Why? Yeah, I don't know.
1 million pennies? Yeah, why not?
But, yeah, millions of pennies.
I want to see a stack of, like, 10 pennies just so I can kind of gauge.
Yeah, see.
Okay.
Millions, all millions.
Okay, I want to look up different ones.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Random questions.
So
do you have any questions? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. I was like, so while you're doing that, so just an update on my upstairs neighbors. So the past few days, so when I did my live stream, I did a live stream for the show that nobody fucking watched. You bunch of assholes. But
no one watched?
Nobody watched. I was live for like an hour and a half. And nobody fucking watched. And I was like, damn, I'm just sitting. I could have started jerking off and nobody would ever known unless I saved it to the page. Fucking but our upstairs neighbors, it's a couple, and they've been fighting. They've been fighting a lot, like, and they fight on their fucking balcony, and they're screaming and yelling at each other.
That's hot.
Through their balcony. No, fucking. So yesterday, the dude, he was fucking. It sounded like he was crying, and I was trying to kind of like, me and Leslie were trying to kind of like decipher what they're arguing about, but I didn't know he's actually Mexican. I just thought he was a white guy. Like a tan white guy, but either way, it doesn't matter because they were speaking Spanish. So we're going in and out of Spanish and English. So we're like, oh shit! Like we're like, okay. So there was one point where he was like, "Don't fucking lie to me, estúpida! You fucking saw him. You went to go see him, and you lied to me about it in my face."
So it really comes out when he's upset.
Yeah, and I was like,
you've talked to this guy before, right?
Yeah, and he sounded like a fucking hick, and I was like, "What the hell?" So it was just like, what the fuck? And we were like, she's seeing some guy, she's cheating on him. And he was like, you fucking saw him, you fucking...
I'll pop a cap in Sancho and...
Find a head of my own. Fucking, I was like, damn. And then I got bad because he made a comment about, like, jumping off the balcony. And I was like, do it!
Flip!
Do it, fucker, do it! So, like, today, Leslie and I went to go to the grocery store, and as we're walking out, you hear Post Malone's I Fall Apart. And we're like, his girl left him. I fall apart. We were like, damn. So we got home, he was on the balcony by himself, and I said it kind of loud, and Leslie was like, David, I was like, just fucking kill yourself. And Leslie was like, damn. I was like, sorry, I didn't think I said it that loud.
And that was how David's neighbor died.
I can only pray.
Alright, these look good. Let's start over. You want to do them? You want to just keep
we'll keep it going. Okay. These aren't ones we've read already, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Skip them if they are.
Alright. When was the last time you experienced nostalgia?
It's funny because I read that one.
Excuse me.
I thought of asking you it, and I didn't think of what I would answer.
You gave me the iPad.
I know.
Flipped it to me.
Well, because you went. I think I asked you 10 or close to 10.
So yeah.
Last time I experienced nostalgia. God, I don't know. it's that experience is so like kind of personal. I feel like sometimes, and so I can't really remember the last time. And it's always like random for me. It'll be like, it won't be something significant. It'll be like I put the cup here or something, and I'm like, God, I remember that. Well, no, not even that, because that could happen a lot actually. I put the cup there. Something. I mean, in the aspect of I like Mrs. Teach saying something, or and it'll just be like. So I don't know. I haven't. I
actually had it today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm.
You know what? I'm trying to answer deja vu, not nostalgia.
No. Okay.
That's what I'm trying to explain. So see, I'm totally off on the question.
Boo. Not to steal the mojo from your question, Tom.
No, take it.
But because I'm studying to renew my insurance license. I'm doing my 24 hours of continued education, or CEs for short. So, and I'm pretty much off the phone. I'm just at my desk reading study material all day for this next few days. So I'm there, and I have one headphone in, and I have multiple playlists on Spotify, which you can follow me on Spotify, Declare II.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, you can follow me and subscribe to my
playlist or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I have a playlist. I have playlists by decade. So I have a 2000s, which is nothing. It's all hits of all genres, like rock, metal, pop, rap.
Oh, fuck, I'm gonna go follow it.
Yeah. So it's like anything from 2000 to 2009. And then I have my 2010s playlist, same concept, anything from 2010 to today's hits. And that's a playlist that keeps growing and growing with hits that come out now and everything like that. So I was listening to my 2010s playlist, and this EDM group called Cruella, they were somewhat popular back in like 2012, 2013. And they had a song called Alive that came out, and that was like one of their biggest hits. So I was studying, and that song came on shuffle, and I was like, man, it just really brought me back to when I was in college, and I would jam out to Cruella so much. I even saw them on my first week of college. Like I saw them Wednesday, because I saw Iron Maiden and Megadeth in Austin on Tuesday, and then I went to Cowboys to see Cruella on Wednesday. So when that song came on and like was studying, I was like, whoa! Like I got taken back to college, but.
Yeah. That's okay. Now that I think about it too, I've been going to college since 2010.
Damn.
So, because I graduated 2010 at the beginning of the year, and then I went to my first semester in college in the fall of 2010. And so every time the first the beginning of a semester starts, I always think of back in 2010, because I was a totally different person. You know, it was a totally different world, and it was just kind of like new. I didn't even know what I wanted to do. Really, I was just like, just sign up for classes and get there. So it's always nostalgic to think of where I was then, and then versus now, where I'm like, God, I just want to get this done.
Right.
You know. So I guess that was, mine was last week when I went to class again for the new semester. So
nice. Alrighty, that was a good first question. That was really good.
Yeah.
Second one. What's the scariest dream you've ever had? I'll put it this way: that you remember.
Yeah. I don't really dream. I used to have this dream as a kid with spiders, like a big ugly spider chasing me and like catching me, and it would be like recurring dreams. I would get it like every 5 years or something, or like every other year. I don't really dream anymore though, so.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah, my dreams are really. It's so. When I do have dreams, they're always so boring, like, and tedious. Like I have shitty dreams where I'm stuck in traffic for my whole, or I'm stuck in a line, or I'm waiting for like a piece of mail to come in. Like I'm sitting in my living room waiting for the mail to.
You know what they say about those types of dreams, right?
Like I'm stuck.
Yeah, like you feel stagnant where you're at.
That's probably very true. I've been in college since 2010, so that probably has something to do with that. Yeah.
That's funny. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest thought you've ever had?
I have plenty of weird thoughts. I was just thinking.
I was like, I have countless.
All the time, constantly. I was like that meme where it's like, you ever have those thoughts where like, what if I just kick this fucking toddler across the room? Like, no, back it up, back it up.
Wait, don't do it as you're approaching the kid.
I mean, yeah, I have, plenty. Today, I have this teacher that kind of looks like Dolly Parton, like in a broke-ass kind of way.
Broke-ass Dolly Parton.
Like a broke-ass Dolly Parton. And I guess I probably thought, like, I wonder how she has sex. Like, I wonder if she fucks like Dolly Parton. And then it kind of went to like, does Dolly Parton fuck? Like, as like a 50-year-old, or like in they're probably in 70s, who knows?
Bro, guess Dolly Parton. Oh my god. I'm gonna get that tattooed on my chest. Bro, guess Dolly Parton.
You should.
Oh my god. See, so that's probably gonna be the name of this episode. I always try to think of names for the episodes. So broke ass Dolly Parton fucking fits.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word fidget?
Spinner.
Yeah. Fucking 2000.
I have I did not buy into that because I'm a grown ass man, but I did find one that was the golden snitch.
I don't know.
I think it's snitch. No, I think it's Stitch. I always fuck that up. But from Harry Potter, and I just had to fucking have it because I'm a Harry Potter nerd. And I actually have it in my little wheat box. I don't ever use it. It's just there. I just have it there for whatever reason.
What a nerd.
I guess like if I ever freak out on pot, that's what I'm going to play with. So.
I caught it. What made up word would you incorporate into the English language if you could?
Y'all.
Y'all?
Y'all.
Y'all.
I feel like already, yeah, I got into a big thing this weekend with people from New York, and then my fellow friends who are Texans, and I was trying to explain to the New Yorkers, I go, you've heard of y'all, right? And they're like, yeah, I've heard of y'all. I kind of even say it sometimes now. They've been here for a couple months. I'm like, okay, but when you get, like, native Texans say y'all,
yeah.
Right? You all have, like, y'all been drinking since 2 o'clock today. Or
have y'all, like...
Have y'all eaten?
Yeah, like, y'all eaten yet? Like,
yeah, okay. And my friends were like, I've never said that. I don't. No, he's being dramatic. And I'm like,
no,
I was getting mad because I'm like, you think you say y'all have, but y'all say it.
Yeah.
Y'all. Because even if it's like more like a av, y'all of, you still don't say the H, right? And
yeah.
It's still a conjunction of y'all.
Yeah, no.
So,
y'all.
Y'all.
Because when we were in Vegas last year.
Or even y'all of, like y'all would have.
Yeah, y'all have, I've said that.
Yep.
Again, when we were in Vegas during EDC, somebody was like, "Oh, you guys are from Texas?" Because I guess all four of us, me, Leslie, Ray, and JoJo, we were in an elevator and we were talking and we asked them like y'all have gone to the pool yet? Like,
right.
Yeah, and it's like and the guy, there was another couple in the elevator. Are you guys from Texas? And we're like, oh yeah, and they're like, wow, you guys really say y'all down there?
I used to get that a lot in South Dakota, and because I don't catch y'all, really I don't catch y'all.
I say y'all on the calls all the time.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, you're from the San Antonio Service Center," huh? And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, sorry."
I had to write a letter out to like our community type of thing for my second job, and I sent it to one of the teachers to like proofread, and she was like, "You can't say y'all," and I was like, "Oh yeah," I was kind of drunk. It was late. I'm like, I'd love to see y'all at the center, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you can't say y'all in, like, formal writing. Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. Let me change that.
Man, that's funny.
So, y'all.
What animal would you want to be reincarnated as?
Well, that's esoteric, too. Animal realm is less than the human realm in Buddhism, so you don't want to come back as an animal. A lot of people think becoming an animal is, like, the peaceful, like... Oh, I wish I could just be this monkey in the tree living free. But animal realm is all about, what is it, like fish eat fish, dog eat dog. Or there's always a bigger fish, dog eat dog. There's a lot of animosity. That's where. So you wouldn't want to. But I guess if I had to pick an animal, probably a monkey. I guess because I got an opposable thumb, so I can jerk off.
Or a raccoon.
Oh, do they? Oh,
Raccoons
okay.
have thumbs, yeah.
I don't think they jerk off though.
If you could visit one planet, which would it be? Uranus.
I'd want to go to a different galaxy planet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that I don't even know the name of because there might be life there. I subscribe to that theory that there's probably life out there. We just can't reach it.
There's aliens out there. I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it 100%.
We just can't get to each other. Just no technology like that yet.
Exactly. What superpower do you wish you had?
I've always wanted to be able to fly.
Fly?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think that would be cool.
What's your very first memory?
I remember being very excited for kindergarten. I think that's my very first. I remember I couldn't sleep the night before because I was going to start school and being excited about going to school. So that's my first memory.
One of my first memories is seeing Star Wars Episode 1 in theaters the day before first day of kindergarten, first day of pre-K.
Oh, wow.
1999.
Yeah.
Fucking... And then first day of pre-K, got dropped off at the class by my parents. They're like, go make friends, da-da-da, okay. You know, walked into the class and I made a lightsaber out of building blocks. That was one of the very first memories I have, but that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Last question: What did you say as a kid when you were asked what did you want to be when you grow up?
I used to say I wanted to be an archaeologist.
Archaeologist?
Yeah, and
okay.
I used to say that because it was the longest word I knew, and I just thought it sounded impressive. Yeah.
That's cool.
All right.
Alrighty.
Dave's turn. Oh, my bad.
My
I'm
iPad,
off over
pal.
like my iPad. Okay. So that was...
So
okay.
11, yeah, so 11 to 20.
All right. If you could change careers right this second, what would you do?
Comedian, stand-up comedian. Or continue to be a podcast
Where
host.
would you live if you were successful? Or where do you think you'd have the best chance to be a successful comedian?
New York City.
New York City,
Yeah.
not California.
No, fuck California, dude.
New York has the more depression type of
Yeah,
feel.
New York has SNL. Yeah, like
Yeah.
there's so much more art. Like fuck California. I can't stand California. I hope I never go. Like I just fucking hate California.
Nice, actually. But I'd like to go to New York too. What makes you happiest? Nights with Leslie.
Right, cheesy answer. You know, being with Leslie. You know, going on new adventures with her, taking her out of town to cities and stuff she's never been to. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with that. I don't care if it sounds cheesy. I've taken Leslie to Las Vegas for her first time, and she got to experience everything with that. I've taken Leslie to New Orleans for her first time when we went to WrestleMania this past April, and just seeing her reaction to the city and the surroundings and how stuff is. It's a priceless thing. I just love it. Like I think that's what makes me happy. I can't wait one day to take her to New York.
We'll be a famous comedian.
Yeah, right. Like, so just traveling with Leslie. That's what really makes me happy.
Gay.
I know, sorry.
That was a good answer. All right. When is the last time you can remember feeling totally at peace?
Totally at peace, like just calm and like.
Yeah, it's a bullshit question.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I've never really felt at peace. Like my
No one
mind,
does.
I was like, my mind's never really been calm enough to not have any thought. Like every second of the day, until I fall asleep, I'm thinking about something.
Even sometimes when you sleep, you can have a bad dream.
Yeah, and I have dreams. Like because I am a big dreamer. I do dream all the time. Like I have a dream every single night. Sometimes it's ideas for the show or like things I could think of or whatever. Other times I literally have dreams where I'm taking calls and helping customers at work. Like I'm always having, like my mind is always racing 1,000,000 miles a minute. I can't be at peace.
Yeah, no one is. That's why there's this thing called religion, because we're all looking for it.
Right.
So it's a good business. Which of the 7 wonders of the world do you want to visit the most? You know, this is an interesting question because the 7 wonders apparently has changed. There's the traditional 7 wonders and there's a new 7 wonders.
Because Andre the Giant was made the 8th wonder of the world when he was alive.
Really?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I honestly don't even know what the 7 wonders of the world are.
I only know one, and it's the one I would pick is the Sphinx in Egypt.
Yeah, you know what? I'll see that because my dad's been to the Sphinx and the pyramids, so that's something I would love to go see.
Really cool.
And the Great Wall of China. I don't know if that's one.
I think that is.
Okay, but yeah so.
Which apparently are very underwhelming because it's packed with tourists and it's not even a good view. The Sphinx are like, you're in a desert in Egypt. Like, it's really not
You're getting
cool.
hit by sand.
And there's so many people that you can't really do anything. But yeah, that would be mine too. What country do you want to travel to?
London? England? Yeah.
Similar food that you could eat.
You can, yeah. They got McDonald's, fuck it.
English breakfast? No? I've always wanted to have like a real full English breakfast.
English breakfast? Like, what's an English breakfast?
It's basically an American breakfast, but it's eggs. They do the baked beans with like bacon, blood pudding, potatoes, toast. It's like a giant. It's basically what our breakfast is based off of, but a little more traditional, I guess.
Nah.
And the baked beans.
Not there for not
grilled tomatoes.
Not to go for the food, just to go for the music and culture.
I've always wanted to go to England too. Which foreign language would you like to learn?
Spanish. I just wish I could speak Spanish. Oh my god.
It's applicable here in the States to be able to do that too. What's the most ticklish spot on your body?
Ooh.
The world wants to know, David.
That's a tough one. I'm very ticklish on my feet, like the bottom of my feet. Which they say.
Oh, not the top?
Yeah,
not your ankle?
Yeah, my feet. But they say like that's how like jealous people are very ticklish on their feet, and I guess that's a correlation with that. Very ticklish on that. So this may sound silly, but here's a little peek into our bedroom life, which is not even dirty.
You're into tickling feet?
Right. Tickle me, oh come. No, so this is something. This may sound weird. I don't care. So I'm not used to physical contact, like when it comes to cuddling and like Leslie resting her head on my chest or like kissing my arm and like everything like that. It feels nice, but I get like I get really like because I never, and it's kind of thing where I'm just like, how do people get used to cuddling or sleeping with other people? Like it took me till like maybe about a year and a half ago to get used to sleeping in the same bed with Leslie, because I was just so not used to it. Like the first time Leslie spent the night with me at my parents' house, I didn't sleep the entire night. Like I was up because I was like, this is so new and different to me. And she'd wake up, how was your sleep? I was like, oh, it was the best sleeping next to you. I'm all fucking mentally depraved. Like, oh, I'm so fucking tired. So it's just, I don't know. And so we'll be laying in bed and like I'm laying on my stomach looking at my phone or whatever, like looking towards the wall, and she'll like come next to me and she'll start kissing my shoulder and my arm and stuff, and like she'll put her arm around me and I get the chills where I'm like, oh god, and like it tickles. I'm just not used to that.
Is it tickles or is it the skeeves? And I only ask that because, it sounds like you have intimacy issues, which I do as well. And so that's a big thing with me, Mrs. Teach. She was like, the whole cuddly PA thing, I've just given it. I mean, it's not for me like a thing that I feel like I'm lacking. I'm not that type of person. So like, the cuddle thing in bed, yeah, we'll cuddle with the spooning stuff, but kissing on the shoulder, it's like, stop.
It's not, because I love it. I love that she's showing affection, but
yeah,
like,
no,
I think
appreciate it.
I think it is ticklish because like nothing gives me the skeeves. Like I can put like somebody could walk in and just like cut their throat in here, and I'd be like, oh damn, and like I don't.
Okay, we're using skeeves in a different sense. Well, I'm not ticklish on my shoulder, but like the soft kisses, it's just kind of like, like I'm just not, even though we've been together for 10 years and shit, it's like,
okay, so that's a common thing. I thought I was the only person in the world that So
and actually Miss used to do that just because she knows that bugs me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Leslie does it too. Babe, what?
Yeah, exactly. And then it goes even more like, shut up. Like, you're making me look,
fuck off of me.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
And that's kind of foreplay now. But,
give me something I don't want.
Right. Alright, so when is the last time you really laughed out loud?
Today. Oh my god. Like, I fucking bellowed. Like, I fucking... So my friend shared this post, and it's on my Facebook.
Oh, I see.
And I'm about to start cracking up right now, too. It was this guy who goes, I made a bot watch 1,000 hours of Dr. Phil, and I asked it to create its own Dr. Phil episode.
Yeah.
And the shit that the fucking bot created was just so fucking amazing. It was just like, bring out bad mom, and like...
Yeah. I read that. That was funny, too.
Empty your pockets. Daughter pulls out pocket full of ISIS. Like, it fucking...
What was it, like, crowd hates stuff like that?
Daughter comes out. She's mean to... she doesn't sit on chair. She's mean to chair. Crowd cheers.
Right.
They hate
crowd
chairs.
hates chairs. Yeah.
That was today. That was like the perfect thing. I cried at my desk.
That was funny.
Oh my god.
What's your favorite joke?
The Aristocrats. Have you heard the Aristocrats joke?
No.
Give you a quick one.
The Aristocrats.
No. The Aristocrats. So I'll go ahead and say it. So there's a talent company, right? There's a scouting company. puts out an ad, hey, you know, we're looking for new talent. Like, we need to find new acts. So a family walks in. A mom, a dad, a son, a daughter, and their pet dog. Go into the talent agency, hey, we would like to be signed. Talent agent, all right, what's your act? The daughter begins to fuck the son. The mom starts fucking the dad. The dog starts humping the mom in the ass. So everyone's fucking each other.
Big left turn.
Everyone's fucking each other. The mom is just stroking the dad's cock as it's going in and out of her. She looks over at the daughter. She starts making out with the daughter while the daughter is riding the son. The son pulls his cock out, starts fucking the dog. The dad pulls his cock out, starts fucking the son. And the mom is now eating out the daughter. The daughter comes in the mom's mouth. The dog comes all over the mom. The dad pulls his cock out, shoves it in the daughter's mouth, starts choking her with it. The son pulls his cock out of the dog, and now he puts it in the mom's ass. The mom has now turned around and starts sucking the dad's cock after he's pulled it out of the daughter's mouth. Dad finally pulls his cock out of the daughter, comes all over everyone. They get up a towel and they clean themselves off. The talent agent is looking at them as they take a bow and clean themselves off. He goes, that was a very strange routine. What is that called? What do you call yourselves? The dad looks at the talent agent dead in the eye and says, we're called the aristocrats.
I don't get it.
So that's the joke. So the joke is it's the setup. The setup and the punchline are always going to be the same, but it's all the middle stuff. All of that is improvised. So it's famous for being considered the dirtiest joke in the world. And
I was actually impressed that you could keep up with whose cock was in who.
Yeah, and so I mean that's the thing. It's all improvised, and the most famous one is by Gilbert Gottfried. He's really good at telling the aristocrats joke. And it changes every time. It changes with whoever tells it. But it always involves the family fucking each other and fucking dog. And it's just supposed to be very grotesque. And it's supposed to be very long too. I shortened it just for time constraints. But yeah, it's supposed to be like very long, very horrifying. And it's like,
but what is the aspect of calling it the aristocrat joke? Because an aristocrat is an affluent person, right?
Exactly. That's part of the joke. It's like,
I don't get where that ties in.
What kind of aristocrat does that kind of stuff? Like, that's not an aristocrat. Like,
I guess I gotta relook up what the meaning of that.
Well, because aristocrat is always associated with like a fancy person, very well kept and everything. So so it's like that's not.
Oh, because it's totally on flips it on its side.
It's totally like the most dramatic thing you can, like the most grotesque thing. It's like that's not an aristocrat. Like
that's rough. That was a rough one.
Yeah, so that's the joke. Is the aristocrat joke.
My favorite joke, which is just not as cool as your joke, but mine, and it's the worst joke. Oh, I don't know now, actually, but mine was... So, a horse walks into a bar, right?
Okay.
And the bartender says, "Why the long face?" That is, like, always my go-to, just for... Yeah. Okay. Moving right along. Here's the last one of the night. David's picking his toes.
Sorry, no, I have a... Like, it felt like something was poking me, so I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, possibly. Okay, here's the last one. You might not have an answer to this.
Let's see.
When is the last time you vomited and why?
Ooh. Okay.
Leaving the teachers, please?
No. Not really. It was from drinking, but so let me say this. So I don't consider myself a lightweight, but at the same time, I don't consider myself very strong. Like it takes a lot, but it doesn't take like a lot. To get me fucked up. Especially if I'm on an empty stomach, then no, yeah, everyone's going to be relatively the same by drinking pretty heavy right up, like really fast and hitting you right away. let's say like I've had a decent meal. I've started pounding them. I'm taking a few shots. Shots are always what get you faster.
Okay.
But it was after EDC last year. It was actually no. It was even before EDC. It was April of last year. It was the day before WrestleMania.
Did you throw up at EDC?
I did not throw up at EDC.
Okay.
No, I didn't even drink that much when we were in Vegas, to be honest. But it was when I had the guys' night when it was you, Ray, and my brother came over and everything. We were drinking.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the night before WrestleMania. We got, I know I really got fucked up that night. I got fucked, because we took like 10 shots
we were drinking heavy.
and eating pizza. Like we ate pizza and I was drinking before everybody even showed up. I was really fucked up that night. And the next day was WrestleMania, WrestleMania 33. And I've only thrown up 3 times from being drunk. But it's always the next day with the hangover or whatever. So yeah, April whatever, 2017, the next morning after that night, I woke up and I went into the bathroom. I looked at myself in the mirror, looked at the sink, and then wiped my mouth, took a shower, brushed my teeth, went back to bed, and then that was it.
Yeah.
It's always usually one little and then I'm good to go.
So I'll answer this question too. There's a stigma with throwing up as being real bad or whatever. I drink pretty often and this and that. Throw up pretty often as well. No, I don't throw up the night of. I'm good at keeping it. The next day though, the hangovers, pretty often, at least once a week. I'm puking because
really?
I drink too much. Oh yeah.
And
it's always all booze. It's usually it all is just all liquid, just pure liquid and bile. So me, probably last time was maybe a couple days ago. I think I was at work. It was early. I had to get there like at 7. Got there. I didn't even go inside. I went to the bathroom first and just.
Oh, man.
And then just I'm used to it. Wipe it up, my mouth, whatever, and then back to work. Because to me. Because if not, if I keep all that shit in, I'll feel like shit the whole day. But if I can get it out in the morning, I usually try to throw up in the morning if I feel like shit, like if I'm super hungover, because then I won't feel bad. Because all that shit still, that all the impurities from the booze, and I buy cheap booze, so it's like, it's all just sitting in your gut, just your whole day is just like working through it. And if you can just get it out, just get it out.
Boot and rally.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
and that's another thing too, like I don't really get hungover, so it's just like, I'll be tired. But I've never had a headache.
I'm usually nauseous.
I've never been nauseous.
I don't have the headache so much, but I'm usually nauseous.
See, because even the times that I've thrown up the next day, when I'm hungover, it's not because I'm just like, oh, I feel so sick. It's like I'm really like, I really want to throw up, and then I'm just like, bah! I throw up, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm done. Like
if I'm hungover, I can't eat. I'll go the whole day without. If I'm really hungover, I won't eat the whole day because it is just gonna come back up.
Oh, man, as soon as I'm hungry, I think about food. Like as soon as after I throw up, like when I'm in the shower, last time in the shower, I'm like, man, dude, I could fucking kill a whole fucking bakery right now. Like I can tear it up. But yeah, so I mean, I really like these. I think this is a really good staple on the show now, just to get to know each other. But But yeah, as always, thank you guys for the continued support, new features and new things. I really have big plans for the show. Again, thank you guys to our special guests for letting us interview you. Hopefully we could have you on the show again in the future.
We should have, if our fans are into it, Danny or Eric, right? Or
Eric, Chanel, Abel, the Staples,
yeah.
Jackie.
If they want to call in and just be on the show for a little bit, I've seen that on a podcast I listen to too.
I just don't know how we can record a phone.
No, I would just use my iPad. We could either Skype them in or audio Skype them in.
I just don't know how the quality would. Well, maybe with the iPad now it'd be better. But
well, it would pick up whatever my iPad sounds like, which it's worth a try.
Yeah, it's worth a try. So let us know. Let us know if you really want to be part of the show. Talk to the Teach and I. We'll definitely share some time with you guys. But yeah, so whole new season, whole new features coming out. Keep sharing. Please share the page. Please spread the word of our show. I mean, we're trying to do our part by promoting J Frenzy with the theme song. Trying to promote San Antonio artists and musicians and everything. I know podcast is kind of an oversaturated thing. Everybody wants a podcast nowadays, but this is something I feel Teach and I have really put a lot of time and effort into it, and we definitely want it to be successful. So, as always, I am David Clare.
And I'm the Teach.
No, don't do it. No. No, I'm a virgin. No, I'm a virgin. No, I'm a virgin. No.